Okay, so I'm going to do a few examples of how to do, if you want to do a diagonal line, how you would align those, like if you had two lines that you wanted to be parallel to each other, how you might figure that out. The first option I would use is maybe the just use a rectangle tool. And just draw just do it up and down to start. If you don't need kind of that angled edge at the bottom, if you're just running it off the edges, you can start this way. You can change the amount of stroke that shows. You could put your fill at 0 if you wanted that empty and you just wanted two parallel lines with the background showing through. That's an option here as well. And then it's super easy. You just take your Command or Control T and turn it. You can do Shift and it will hold the angle at like 15 degree, I believe. Well, that's 30, 15, 30, 45. So yes, 15-degree angles. Or if you need something a little more specific, let go of the Shift key and then you can get those angles, and then just drag it off the top and the bottom so that you've got your matching angles there. Another way you could do would be with the line tool, which is also, it's under the same shape tool part in like where the rectangle tool is, the line tool is in there. And so you would just do something similar and do click and drag, hit Shift, and it'll pull it parallel. This might give you a little bit more control in terms of spacing and how it looks. I think the rectangle shape is probably going to be the easiest. Then this becomes a little more flexible to do it this way, especially if you don't want a specific color between, like if you want emptiness there, then and you want flexibility, this would be a great way to go. Get that line the way you want, and if you want them both the same, then just copy that line. And then I'm going to go to my Move tool and I'm going to click on one of the copies and hit Shift, and it's going to keep it aligned. If you can see, there's like a little kind of magenta looking line at the top. You can see where those kind of pop in. So right now I've got exactly a pixel between the lines, and then Photoshop will kind of help you line up different things. But if you hit Shift and drag it across, it'll keep them exactly aligned to each other. And then same thing, grab both of your layers there, Command or Control T, and turn that, and then you can make it larger. So the advantage of using the shape tools to get a look like this is just, these are pixel based, and so, or sorry, not pixel based, these are vector graphics within Photoshop. So once you save this as a JPEG, that doesn't matter anymore, but while you're working with it inside of Photoshop, it works as a vector image. So that means you can resize it to your heart's content, and you should not lose quality on that. So that's the advantage of using that tool. If you use like the pencil or the brush tool, that gives you more flexibility in what the line looks like. So now I need to do a new layer, because you know those both have that little shape layer thing going on. So I can take it, I can change the quality of the brush. Like if I want to do, like with my pen tool, if I want it to be like where I put pressure and then kind of come off on the pressure. I can also use my guides here to create an exact straight line. You're going to have to start inside because this is going to have a different top and bottom point, if that makes sense. So make sure you're in here. You can either click and then I'm going to go down to the bottom and I can hit shift and click, and it's going to put that line directly on there. Because it's a pressure sensitive line, you can see it has some variance in that. You can also, I'm going to undo that. If you do want it to have some sort of pressure or difference in line, you can hit shift, whoops, and not do that. But you could do this kind of on your own down this if you feel confident in your straight liningism, which I'm doing it too slow. So if you wanted more of that kind of a thing going on, I'm just gonna do, let's just do a regular one. I'm gonna hit shift up here on my line. I'm gonna go to the bottom and hit shift. And so I've just got my main line there. You don't have as much flexibility for changing things afterwards as far as like color and stuff like that. But it depends on what you're looking for. If you're trying to get some fuzziness, or you want it to look like watercolor or pastel or something like that, then this might be a better option for you. And then I'm just going to copy that line and then do the same thing like you would with the other line, where you hit, like as you drag, you're going to click shift and it'll keep those lined up for you. And then just select both of those, Command or Control T, and then change them to the angle that you want. All right. I'm sure there's some other ways, and you guys maybe have even thought of some different ones that you could do. Those are probably the ones that I would think of first to do. You might be able to use the pen tool, but that gets a little bit trickier because, again, that's that kind of creates more of a path. But that will give you some flexibility as well. But if you want a refresher on using the pen tool, let me know, and we will do a little thing on that. Okay, hope that helps.